All right. Hey, welcome back to Running Your Life with Time to Spare, day number 2. And right now, I'm about to introduce you to our final speaker for the day. And I am super happy. I actually found this person in a 5-day challenge group that I created. Yours truly. And when I read what she was doing, I was like, I must insist that you have to come and speak at my event, because what she said was so authentic and so touching to me. And it just to me, I'm like, I need more people that have such a passion and such a desire to help and provide value and things that are going to help change people's lives. And I know as an entrepreneur, there have been plenty of days where I've gotten so busy that I've literally forgotten to eat. And there are all kinds of issues that, people face with regards to food and eating habits, and maybe people struggling with obesity. I know I have had periods of my life where I'm like, wow, how did I manage to get so unhealthy and unfit? And then I look at my eating habits and I'm like, I can clearly tell that I'm in a business launch right now, because that's when everything kind of goes out the window. So anyway, it really kind of just struck a chord with me. And so I am pleased to bring you Irit Goldman. Irit, is that how I say it?
It is Irit. Yep.
Okay.
Very
Thank
good.
you. Irit is the mother of 3 boys, which is
Yep.
crazy. I have 3 daughters. She has 3 boys. She is certified in eating psychology, health and wellness, and an eating expert. I can't wait to share with her, because I've not told her what my eating thing is, my weird eating thing. So you guys will hear it here. She'll hear it first from this actual interview. Anyway, and she assists women through the healing process that accompanies bondage to food, which, yeah, anyway, welcome, Irit. How are you today?
I'm doing great. I'm very grateful and honored to be here. I'm so thankful to have this platform. This is actually my first summit. I've been, been wanting to get on these just to get my message across, and this is exciting that you made this possible. So I'm thankful.
Oh man, you know what? Like I said during my introduction just now, it is amazing how much power there is behind just saying and vocalizing what it is that you want to do. I call it taking a stand for something.
Absolutely.
And what I'm trying to do is really encourage, because with entrepreneurs, especially women, I know in my experience anyway, it's been like we find these people and we're like, however they found success, I need to go and do that. I need to mirror what they're doing. But something gets lost in there. Something gets lost, and we tend to focus so much on mirroring someone else that we forget what it is that we're doing, and what really feels right for us, and what our message is, and what we are really taking a stand for. So I always tell people, don't just do things for the money, do things because it means something to you. Because at the end of the day, you're going to have days where you're like, screw it all. There are going to be bad days. But when it's something that you feel so passionate about, and it's something, I'm not talking about golf and tennis, okay, or like cooking or sewing. I'm talking about things that are really close to your heart, and a lot of times those stem from childhood, past experiences, and we'll talk about that, I'm sure. And so, so for me, I'm like, I want to really inspire the female entrepreneur listening to this right now to Irit as an example, as a role model. Like, she caught my attention. She didn't come asking me to come on here and speak. Nobody tagged her in the post and said, you got to get her on there. She took a stand for something, and when she did that in an authentic way, it was so powerful to me. So thank you, Irit, for being here today. Tell everybody, I know I just gave a little bit of a background, but please elaborate. Tell us first, who you are, what you do, what does your life look like?
Oh, so my life is super busy. I have 3 little boys. So my business has been growing over the past 6 years, but it's definitely been an unfolding process. It didn't start from today and started booming. I'm still in the process, and I'm really just now starting. All the puzzle pieces are coming together, and I actually didn't know how much this message was needed. And as I'm talking and as I'm speaking out, as I'm sending out videos, now I'm learning that people are in a great need. You know, women are in a great need to find that, not just that sense of purpose and not just that, you know, need to lose weight or feel healthy. They need to find themselves, and they need to identify themselves with something outside of their, you know, external appearance. So what I do is help women that, you know, eat emotionally or binge eat or have some type of eating disorder or just extremely overweight, or just any woman that feels a need to lose weight. What I do is try to bring back the sanity, bring back, ground them, bring back the understanding that the need to lose weight is, you know, what is that motivated by? So do I need to lose weight because I want to look good? You know, do I want to lose weight because I feel good? Do I want to lose weight because that's going to make me healthy? Or do I want to lose weight because I want to be the best version of myself that I can? You know, do I want to be this person that honors their body and doesn't listen to the world and what they demand of me? So it's basically learning to tune out the world and come back to who it is you are, your authentic self. And that, I think you touched on that by saying, do we want to mirror somebody else in our business? Well, what I've been learning is, like, at this point of my life, after 6 years of doing this, I'm tuning everybody out. I won't watch anybody else's interviews. I won't watch, you know, read anybody else's books anymore. I'm tuning in. And this is what I teach my clients, to tune back in. We need to tune back in into what it is that we need to eat for our health. We need to tune back in to, you know, figure out what it is that we need to do for our lives. It's like claiming back our lives. It's claiming back your identity. And that's what I do.
I love that. I love that you touched on this, that you basically are doing something similar to what I do. I've been calling it tunnel vision, like marketing tunnel vision, because I found that as soon as I start watching one person, then I start doing things their way, and then I see another person, it totally derails me, and then I have to do it this way, and then I never really accomplish much, you know? I never really like make progress. So it's really important to turn off the noise, tune out the distraction.
I think especially for women, you know, we have such a strong intuition based drive, and for us, every time we start listening and looking outwards, we get lost. We stop trusting our intuition. We stop trusting our gut feelings, and we think somebody else is better. They're better than me. They're smarter than me. They're richer than me. They're more effective than me. They have more clients than me. And that's not what I've learned. My heart, my passion. That's not, you know, what drives me anymore. What drives me is if I can help one woman, you know, stop going to the fridge, you know, to soothe herself, and if I can help one woman find that freedom from that bondage, you know, from that obsession of needing to look a certain way in order to be happy or in order to be successful. And if she can step away and feel empowered, then I feel like I've done my job in this world.
That's amazing. And I, you know, I'd love to hear more about this. So, you know, tell us about what, in your experience, what are some of the more common problems associated with, you know, that you call it like the psychology of eating, or the habits that people get into when they kind of like move toward food to heal a part of them?
So first of all, just feeling fat. You know, you wake up in the morning feeling fat. And what is fat? Fat is not a feeling. Fat is something that you have on your body. It's not who you are. It's not, you know, it's not your self-worth. But what has happened, because we're so bombarded by society and that image, you know, that was handed out by our parents and our grandparents of what we're supposed to look like, which, by the way, changes in every generation, right? Sometimes, you know, 100 years ago, we needed to be plumper, and now we need to be thinner. So it's like always needing to claim who it is that somebody else says that you should be, instead of like honoring who it is that you are. So, you know, that obsession to need to lose weight and look a certain way. Always being obsessed with calories and so we have like 4 types of eating disorders. So we have the binge eating, the compulsive overeating. We have the anorexia. We have the bulimia, and now we have a new eating disorder that's appeared on the in the past 10 years, which is orthorexia, which is a need to eat perfectly. So
I have never heard of this.
Yeah, so for us people that, I love nutrition, and when I was studying I studied nutrition in 6 different institutions. I love nutrition. I love health. I love, the power of food to heal. I love alternative health. And what happened is like, what is healthy changes day by day sometimes. Nutrition is a very, very young field. And so when somebody thinks that something is healthy, they start obsessing about only eating healthy food, only eating a certain type of food, it's only coming from a certain type of store or a certain type of farm. And so it's like this need to be perfect in your eating.
And there is danger in that, right? I mean, what about circumstances where you can't get what you want? What then? Like, what are some of the, like, well, and that is particularly interesting to me.
Well, the danger is it's like you stop socializing. You don't go out to restaurants because you don't know what's going to be served. You don't eat out in public. You're a perfectionist about your food. And, a lot of times you lack nutrients. And the worst part is the stress, that incurs in your body as being worried about every morsel of food that goes into your body that is healthy and clean. So yeah, it's
fascinating.
But what you have to understand, all these eating disorders in their core is, a need to be validated and a need to be loved. So it doesn't matter which, eating disorder you have, whether it's anorexia, where you're controlling your environment, so you can't control, because you can't control the outside world, you're controlling your own environment. That's the one thing you can control. And bulimia, it's kind of the same thing, except you don't want you can't stop the need to eat. So you eat, purge, stuff everything down and then bring it back up. So, and then we have the compulsive overeaters, which is what I was for over 15 years, where you eat and you just can't stop eating.
Yeah, I feel like I'm going to tell you about my kind of, I'll make it quick. You can tell me which category this fits into.
Okay.
So I'll go back and I'll tell you that I came from a middle income family. Mm-hmm. So we weren't poor on paper. However, my parents put us all through private school. We were, 4 kids, private school was very expensive. We did not have really, we could, we'd be lucky to be able to throw together something for dinner. This is not an exaggeration. Breakfast was not a thing. That was extremely rare. Lunch, we had a sandwich, which I call peanut butter and jelly wipe. It's like barely anything on the bread, smack it together, and that's, and so for me, I know now what the result of this, and I'm not like obese, right? I'm not on the outside, but in my mind I know that there are things that exist because of that childhood that I had. Mm-hmm. And this went on. So what I do is I have this need to always have my cabinets full, and I like to have junk food in there as well. Like, how some people be like, get rid of all the junk food. Right. I'm the opposite. Right. I don't have junk food around me. I crave it and I will go crazy. Like it's like I want it, and I'll I know when those moments are, because I'll be at the grocery store and I'll get candy bars at the checkout and I'll eat them in the car before I ever even go anywhere. So anyway, yeah, it's always kind of fascinated me. I'm like, I'm not one of those people who just gets rid of all the junk food. I need to bring it home. Well, and then it's like controlled. And it's, I don't like over binge or anything like that. It's just small,
Well, what
healthy
you're doing
doses.
is actually very smart and very intuitive. Is you're saying I'm allowed to have all food, and therefore I don't crave it as much, but I feel safe when this food is in the house.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And there have
So
been
that's
periods
actually
in
a
my
very
life.
smart thing to
Is
do.
it?
It is.
Yay! I was wondering when you talked about orthorexia, is that what you called it? So interesting. I've never even heard of that word. Oh, this is so cool. I learned something new today. So now I know when I see, because I have friends, I know people
Yeah.
that fit that category. And so it's interesting to know that. So that's actually not a healthy way of living your life.
So
It's like an
it
extreme.
becomes a disorder when it becomes extreme. So,
Oh,
you can have somebody that wants to eat healthy, but like I today, if I go out to a restaurant, can still find something to eat, and I feel completely relaxed about, choosing that food.
Irit, how do you reach somebody? I mean, that has to be difficult to be like, something's wrong with you.
So I
They
have
don't think like I'm perfect, right?
yeah.
Like, look at me.
So this is the hardest part of what I do, is to reach out to clients, because this is something that's very private. I remember when I was 16, uh, being amazed, that there was an Overeaters Anonymous, that there were other people that, felt the way I felt. It's a very isolated type of, disorder. You don't know that other people suffer with it. And when you have it, it's so shameful
Mhm.
that you don't want to reach out until it becomes too painful, and then you have to reach out. So what I do is I try to speak out as much as I can. And what I do is I've been putting out videos, um, and I have a support group on Facebook. I have two different ones. I have one for mindful eating, mindful being, and one for, overeating support. But even there, it's very slow in coming. So, for a while, I was like, maybe this is not the right target. But then I realized, most women today, in some capacity, struggle with emotional eating, because we're an emotional being, and especially women, we're emotional human beings, and we eat emotionally. And actually, that's an okay thing to do when you learn how to moderate it.
This is fascinating. So it's orthorexia is what it's called.
Yeah.
Can you give me a definition, just a quick synopsis? I'm writing this down.
So orthorexia, again, it's the need to be perfect in your eating. So you want to eat very clean. So sometimes you won't eat, meat that's not grass-fed and pastured, or eggs that aren't, pastured, or you won't eat anything that's not humanely sustained and local. You're very much in control of everything that goes into your body that has to be optimum health and clean.
Amazing. This is exciting. So, tell us about your lifestyle. Like, what are I know a lot of people listening to this will be, they're working women, working mothers, entrepreneurs. What is your schedule like? Do you work Monday through Friday? You have kids. How do you balance all this?
It's hard. So I work with clients on Skype, and actually what I'm doing right now is, so I have my kids out of the house every day from 9 till 3. And that's my working hours. I can have time on the weekends when my husband, can take over. Also,
Nice.
what I'm doing now is creating a 6-week group program.
Okay.
So it's a 3-phase program, and I'm trying to make it very affordable, and so anybody can access it. And what it is so in the first phase, we're going to work on getting off diets and reconnecting with our intuitive wisdom to eat. And in our second phase, we're going to learn how to love ourselves as we are, and self-care. And that includes loving movement, that includes increasing the quality of your food, that includes learning, when you crave certain foods, why you crave them. That's really looking at your emotional health and why you eat what you eat. you know.
I love it. That sounds amazing.
So we've lost the ability to eat because we've been told all our lives what is and what isn't healthy. We eat because it's accessible, and then we have this industry, this crazy food industry that's, you know, heavily processed, highly toxic, changes the chemistry of our brain, and affects our ability to choose high quality foods. So
wow, that's yeah. Don't even get me started. I know. I'm going to tell you something. I'm weird about food. When you talk about like not being able to eat out, there was a time when I lived in Portland, Oregon. I don't know if you've ever been there, but Portland, Oregon is just an incredible culinary atmosphere. The food is like art. I mean, it's incredible. I literally ate blue steak. Do you know what that is?
I don't know, but it sounds good, and I love food. I'm a total foodie.
I am a foodie. So blue steak is raw steak. And it's finely diced, and they serve it with this little like
carpaccio.
Yeah, and it's like with a little like egg, and
oh yeah, quail egg.
Egg and then mix it, and it's blue steak, onion, and then the egg, and I'm telling you, it was so good. But I'm also going to tell you this, that when I moved back to my hometown, it was over. Eating out, I was like, I have to learn how to cook this delicious food myself. But then you go shopping and you realize how virtually impossible it is to get those high quality ingredients at the standard supermarket.
It is.
So advice you give to people, especially these busy women who are listening, like, I don't have time to think this out, like, and create my, like, I go to 4 different places to get my grocery list fulfilled. What do you advise? These women are overworked, overstressed, struggling, you know, whatever. What do you recommend?
So we have seasons in our lives, and we have seasons we can dedicate more to the quality of the food that we purchase. And there are seasons we just can't. So what we do is we do the best we can. So there is, you know, from the choices that you have, what is the best quality that you can get. And what I do is, you know, for clients that, you know, don't have a passion for high quality foods like I do, you know, they just want to lose weight, honestly. So I tell them, let's stick to whole foods and let's learn how to cook some easy recipes, you know, family-friendly recipes that we can cook from scratch. Because if I can just get them off the processed foods 85% of the time, they've already increased the quality of their food by 85%. And I don't care if it's not organic, and I don't care if it's not, you know, the finest.
Baby steps.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely baby steps with everything that we do. It has to be baby steps. I wouldn't have gotten where I have if I didn't take baby steps.
I literally had to take baby steps. A year ago, I was 30 pounds heavier than where I am now.
Yeah.
And, you know, talk to us a little bit about how negative experiences like that we're currently, maybe it's like a really sucky marriage or a sucky relationship or a job that we hate. Maybe you're an aspiring entrepreneur is listening to this and they're trying to branch out and do their own thing, but they're stuck in a job they hate.
Right.
And so they're sitting at a desk, and I know, I get it. And so one thing leads to the next. You hate your life, so you eat things because you're not mentally. Yes. Talk to us about that cycle.
So what I do is, like, we're going to create our best life right now with the circumstances we have. With the sucky job, we're going to make it the best sucky job possible. So we're going to go to that job and we're going to put a smile on our face and we're going to find things in that job that we love. Because what I've learned is, like, the happier we feel and the better we feel, the more we attract happier situations and a happier life and a happier job. When you're not feeling well about yourself, you're not even going to go out and look for another job. And you don't have to be an entrepreneur, you know, that's like going 0 to 100 miles, you know, in 2 seconds. It's virtually impossible. So you keep your sucky job, you do the best you can to enjoy it, while you start building your business. You know, I had 3 children. I nursed each one of them almost 2 years. I couldn't start it, you know, I couldn't start to work. I couldn't start to work in the capacity that I work at today, you know, but back then, you know, I still studied. I still reached out. I helped out friends. I went to do workshops. I went to do seminars. I still did something, you know, that gave me satisfaction. And the more satisfied I feel, the more satisfied I'm going to act. So it's definitely like taking baby steps, and it's not hating where you are right now. So, you know, you take your relationship with your food and you take your relationship with your body, and you contrast that to your relationship with life. There's so much similarities in the way you approach food and the way you approach life, right? So if you're eating really fast, you're not thinking about what you're eating, you're not taking a deep breath, and you're not grateful before you sit down to have a meal, and you don't enjoy it, because pleasure is the most important thing you can do for yourself when you sit down to eat. If your brain doesn't register pleasure, you're not going to absorb nutrients, and you're actually going to go into a stress response. So,
oh my goodness.
yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. So every time, stress is like, you know, what I deal with is like reducing stress first, because when you're eating, and, you know, back when we were, you know, living in a wildlife, and we had real stressful situations, you know, we would run from a bear, or we would freeze, right? The body would go into a stress response, and then we would release adrenaline, and everything would be over, right? Today,
Yes.
we're confronting stress, you know, minute to minute. Our lives are very stressful. Our lives are very busy. So the mind cannot feel the difference between a real stress event or an imaginary stress. It's the same. The definition is the same. It's how the body absorbs stress. And what happens when stress, when we feel stress, is cortisol goes up, you know, and all these nutrients, all the digestion and assimilation shuts down. And think about this: if we're in chronic stress, our bodies can't be in a place where it always feels threatened. So it can't really release any unbalanced weight if it needed to, because we're continuously stressed. So
wow. So it's possible to eat the right stuff and still be unhealthy.
Absolutely.
Wow. You know,
not only can you eat the right stuff and be unhealthy, you can eat the wrong stuff and be very healthy, right?
Man, yes. This is so true. Wow. So powerful. I'm super excited. Is any final takeaways that you want to leave us with?
Yeah. So how you feel is definitely more important than what you look like. And you know, this is a work in progress. It takes a long time to rediscover yourself. It takes a long time to rebalance yourself. But if you don't take that time, you know, you talk about time and time management and trying to fit in everything, but I teach people to slow down so that they can find time. Because think about all the time that the women, especially, I have a heart for women because that's what I know best.
Same.
But think about all the time that we take out of our lives, all the energy that goes into obsessing about diets, about what you're going to eat, about what you're going to wear, about what you're going to look like, about, you know, you put your life on hold until you get to this weight. So you never really do anything. You put on all this protection because you don't want to live your best life now. So I say take time, because when you're saying, you know, I don't have time all the time, right? Because everyone's like, I don't have any time. Well, you're not going to have any time because you keep telling yourself there's no time. But the truth is, there's always time for those things that you prioritize in your life, right? So there's always time for that. So if there's an emergency, there's always time for that. Like if there's an emergency, there's always money when there's never any money, right? So yeah, so take time, clear that energy, and you're already giving yourself so much extra time that you would be obsessing about what to eat, how many calories you've had, you know, how many fat grams, did you exercise today, didn't you exercise today? And the best advice I give to women today is go clean out your closet. Take away everything out of your closet that doesn't fit you. I would rather you have five outfits that you absolutely love, that every time you put on, you feel great in them. When you go out to the world, then have something in your closet that you put on and you feel fat in, or feel, I don't know what else kind of feeling you can feel, but get rid of those clothes. Don't leave anything in your closet or in your house that doesn't give you any joy.
I still have it in my closet, but I promise you, as soon as we're done, I'm going to go throw it away. But it's a one-piece jumpsuit, and I bought it like a year ago for an event that I went to. And I've been carrying it with me. I haven't worn it in so long, and I tried it on, and it's so huge. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so not cute anymore. It's big. I mean, I could still probably pull it off, but it's really big on me. So I'm like, yes, I'm going to. I know. And you know what? I'll tell you why I keep it. Because I'm like, what if?
Exactly. We don't want any what ifs in our lives.
And I have
no what ifs.
Yes. I have some really nice, expensive designer jeans, and I call them my fat time jeans.
Yeah, we don't want those either.
Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of them.
Yeah, because you want to make space to new designer jeans that fit you now, that you feel sexy, crazy, and now, right?
Yes, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
So good. Maybe I'll just give them to Goodwill though, because somebody else might feel really beautiful in them, and they're nice clothes.
Yeah, and definitely, absolutely, give them away. That, the more you give, the more you receive, and also embrace who you are now. Don't wait to live your life until you get somewhere that you want to get. Start. I have so many women that they can't enjoy their lives because they feel they're overweight, and they tell me, Irit, you just want me to be fat and happy, and I say, no, I want you to be happy so that you can reclaim your balanced weight, whatever that is. Listen, I'm considered obese by today's standards. I don't know if you can see me, but I'm nowhere near obese. So it's like, you have to stop. It's in your mind. It's not in your body, and nobody knows what the right weight, that we should be at. You have to give that away. You have to make space for something that's better and higher than what you eat and what you look like.
You're in my 5-day challenge group, so you're going to learn this, but I'm going to give you, because you are on here speaking, I'm going to tell you something and I'm going to tell you this because it's so aligned with what you're saying. And when I was building that 5-day challenge, I had to go in and create my curriculum, what I wanted to teach people, and make sure I could provide value to them in those 5 days. And I was racking my brain. I was like, what do I want to teach in the first day? Because the first day that somebody comes into a challenge is so critical. And what do they come in with? They come in with baggage, and they come in with pain and insecurity. They come in with obstacles and excuses that they've packed in with them, and they have this suitcase full of BS that they bring. And so I started doing, you know what I did? I'll tell you what I did. I was like, I need to go to I don't meditate, but after running this summit and everybody talking to me about the powerful benefits of meditation, I think I'm going to start doing this every day. But what I did when I was building my 5-day course is I went and I was like, I'm going to go read this audio. I'm going to listen to this audiobook again. And it's like it's called 101 Power Thoughts by Louise Hay.
Yes, I love that book.
Go and listen to it it's free on YouTube, by the way, everybody. Yeah, I own it. I didn't know that iCloud stored it, and so I've been buying it over and over again every time I get a new phone. Silly me. Anyway, but what I did is I started listening to it, and immediately, right when I turned it on, I was able to turn it off. And I already had my course day one, whenever you start anything new, you have to start with negative thinking. Get rid of the negative thinking.
But that's a process. That's not something, that's a reprogramming that you have to do. And you have to use, with my clients, I use energy management techniques, and sometimes it's EFT tapping, sometimes it's guided meditation, sometimes it's a Sedona method, sometimes it's whatever, works for that client. So it's you have to learn that, so find that mentor that will help you teach you how to manage your energy so that you can be, positive, because it's very hard when you have a trained vibration of being negative to all of a sudden be positive because you feel negative.
Yes, you're exactly right. So that's the first thing that I work with people on overcoming.
Awesome.
And this is different than, people who come in and, they've lived their whole lives struggling with, eating problems or, relationship to food issues. But people, it's really similar. There's a similarity there. When people decide that they want to start a business or become an entrepreneur or whatever, there's still negative thoughts associated. So that is the first thing. And anything in life, if there's something that needs to change, you have to stop those negative thoughts. And you're right, that is a process. So tell us where we can find you, where we can stalk you, and how we can learn more about you and this amazing program that you have to offer.
Absolutely. So I'm going to do, I just did a live webinar last week, and I'm going to do a live workshop last week, and I'm going to offer it online in the next few weeks, the same content. You can find me on seedsofbalance.com. I have where I do most of my creative work is through my Facebook page. I just find that I can access more people than my my web page, which is very basic, and I'm going to pay someone to upgrade it and make it fancy. But right now, if you go to Seeds of Balance on Facebook, you can find me. You can find all my videos. You can find all my writing, and you can find all my
valuable content. Yeah.
Valuable content.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, you heard it there. Irit, thank you so very much. Seeds of Balance on Facebook. Please make the time right now. If any of this really hit home for you and you are either fit into either of those categories, or maybe you're like me and you think you have a category all your own, that's okay too, princess. Go ahead and touch base with Irit. She is incredible. I love you. Thank you so much for coming on here, Irit. I look forward to having you speak again at one of my next summits, because I'm going to be doing this once a month. You're amazing.
Thank you
so much.
Enjoy
the rest of your weekend.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.